Hello, everybody from the World Wide Web, and welcome back to the Evening Reel. I'm your host, Kwimei, and thank you for tuning in. If you missed the last broadcast, don't fret. You can watch the VOD on my channel. If you go to my channel, click on the Live tab, you can see all my past broadcasts right there for your viewing pleasure. And also, I made a nifty little playlist if you click on the playlist tab as well to see in chronological order all of my past evening reels as well. But without further ado, let's get real. And while we get real, I'm going to go find a spot to fish. But as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about Arcane, because Act 3 came out this past Saturday, and I would like to discuss it, because I have a lot of thoughts that I need to share out of my little noggin, and I need to get them out of my little noggin, so this is the place for me to do that. Actually, let me make a message in the chat, because I just realized, I'm not gonna lie, I had a bit going on before this live stream, so I did not have enough time to properly set up. Minor spoilers for Arcane Season 2, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to pin this. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I swear I'm a professional streamer. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well today. I have a really scuffed setup for my microphone right now, and it's kind of funny because I'm using like a home telephone as my microphone, and oh wait, can I pin? Did I pin the right message? Ah, phew. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Okay, what the fish? I should start saying that. You are so smart. I'm stealing that from you, and I'm never giving you credit that you're the one that told me how to do that. Oh my gosh, what's up, everybody? Actually, before I forget, let me start recording, because I haven't recorded the past 2 broadcasts, and that's very important. Anyway, so let's go to a nice little fishing spot. But I will say, since we were talking about Arcane, there are... Wait. What? Wait, this is the first time I've seen this. Oh, you know, that's okay. I appreciate that you're here at the start, and that's all that matters. Your presence has been made. Must watch Arcane. Yes, it's a must watch. It's very good. Hey, if I just, like, walk over it, will I fall? Oh, I can't. I have to enter. Okay. Oh, I'm just in the void. Huh. I feel like I should have saw this coming. And now we're just in the void. You know what? We can chill here for a bit in the void. We're just gonna do that. Why not? For now, I will say I will not be talking about spoilers for Arcane right now. I wanted to go over my overall vibe of Arcane, since I finished Act 3 on Saturday, and that was really good, so I wanted to give a nice overview on my thoughts of Arcane. But, thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you tuning in. You better watch this broadcast when you're done watching Arcane. Yep, I said it. To watch this broadcast, watch the VOD of it when you finish Arcane. I'm joking, you don't have to, but it'd be really cool. Anyway, back to the main point, just Arcane. The entire topic for today is Arcane. I have a lot to say about it. Now, my overall view of it, if we combine Season 1 and Season 2 as a whole, I'm not talking about just Arcane Season 2, I'm talking about as a whole. I think it was pretty good. I think it was really great. I love the storytelling, I love the animation, I love the complex characters. Every character has their own complexity, even the background characters. And the fun thing about Arcane, it's one of those shows that you can keep rewatching and find minor details hidden through everything. And that is one of my favorite things, is rewatching things and picking up on stuff that I didn't notice the first time. And so I am definitely going to be rewatching season 1 and season 2, especially season 2, since I watched the acts as they came out. I was not able to watch Arcane Season 2 as a whole just continuously. I had to wait a week between each act, and so that kind of makes me forget a few things that happened in the previous acts. So I want to go and rewatch it, but overall, very good show. If you somehow have not heard of Arcane or just haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. It is just very good. It is based off of League of Legends, obviously, but you don't need to know literally anything about League. It is more like, if you know League, I think there will be some stuff you can pick up on easier, and there are like minor Easter eggs for people that play League in Arcane, but obviously you don't need to play League. Also, I don't even think in League they even highlight the lore besides for voice lines that barely ever play. I have been learning so much about League lore recently because there is so much to it. There are so many different regions and there's so many different champions, and it's a lot. But the game itself, I don't think really highlights a lot of lore besides for the voice lines, but that's only when certain champions run into other champions and then they say the voice line, and that's it. Oh! Nice catch, nice catch. Nice catch. I got creature. Wait, do I have, Actually, it's good that we're fishing here, because I do need to catch, the void fish, so... Also, does this description, for the creature... The thing that says under it, does that mean anything? Like the RRAIMEOR? I'm trying to like understand if you like rearrange the letters, if it says something, and I can't tell. Maybe it's just supposed to say. Anyway. But I would highly recommend watching Arcane. It was very good. Though I will say, I think season 1 was really good in comparison to season 2. Now, this is what I'm going to say about Arcane. I know it has been confirmed by the creators that Arcane was only supposed to be 2 seasons. I know this. I know it's supposed to be confirmed for 2 seasons, but I swear to you, I swear it should have been 3 seasons. Like, I feel it in my bones that it originally was going to be 3 seasons. Because if you watch season 2, this is my own personal opinion, it feels very rushed. Now, certain parts in season 2 need to be rushed to highlight how quick-paced things are going. But there were other parts that felt like it was going way too fast. For me, personally, it was very hard to sit with certain things and before more things started happening. So I truly think season 2 should have been broken up into a season 3, whether that means 3 episodes of season 3 or another 9 episodes. But I think certain parts of season 2 definitely could have gotten fleshed out and like made a lot slower than how it is. And from a storytelling point, I truly think season 1 was a little bit better than season 2 in terms of pacing specifically. Obviously, I can't really say the story was better because season 1 entire thing was to set up the Arcane universe. So obviously it's not going to be as plot heavy, since it's trying to lay the basis of everything that's happening, and you need to introduce to the characters and everything. Literally all of Act 1 of Season 1 is the exposition and background of where we are. And so it's like a whole act was not wasted, but used on exposition, while Act 1 of Season 2 was able to just immediately jump back into the plot. No exposition, you know where we are. The universe has been established. So, story-wise, Season 2's very good. I think, in my opinion, again, Season 1 pacing, very good. Season 2, I think Act 2 felt very rushed to me. If I had to say a specific act that felt very fast, I think Act 2 felt very, very fast to me. Act 3, it felt very fast-paced, but it makes sense why. But Act 2 just felt like so much was happening. And Act 1, basically my thoughts on Season 2 is that they set up a lot of plot points and then did not have the time to finish and flesh out said plot points that they set up in Act 1 of Season 2. And so it just felt like the characters that should have gotten their story a bit more fleshed out just didn't get it, and I wasn't able to connect as much to the characters as I felt like I did in Season 1, because everything felt just slower and more planned out, in my opinion. So I truly think that Arcane should have been 3 seasons. Whether that means it should have been 3 seasons and Season 3 was 3 episodes and then ended, or it was Season 3 with the whole 9 episodes, I cannot tell you that specific. I just think it should have gotten a Season 3. I feel like a few other people, not a few, I've read a lot of discussion online about people having the same idea with Season 2 just needing extra minutes on the episodes and stuff. I've also seen, I think the creators have gone on some podcasts and talked about Arcane, and there's a whole point of Arcane where they said that they had to cut out a lot of extra content to make the episodes shorter. And I think that's sad, because I just want to see everything. Obviously, I'm very invested. I will say this, I want Arcane to end. I'm not saying that Arcane should get like 5 more seasons, because every story should end, and there are a lot of TV shows out there that I think should have ended with like 1 or 2 seasons. I'm going to call out 2 shows, and they're both on Netflix. It's Umbrella Academy and You, with like Joe Goldberg. I think both of those shows only needed 1 season or 2, and then they should have just ended it. I hate that they have so many seasons, but I genuinely think Arcane should have had 3 seasons, or at least a longer last episode, because the last episode of Season 2 was still a standard 40-minute episode, and I feel like it should have been an hour long. Because it's the finale. It's the finale. Come on. Other shows have done it where it's the finale, and it's normally, I say normally, for some shows, it's like an hour long, or at least longer than their normal length. And I think Arcane should have had a 1-hour finale, because I think it deserved it. And now, I think it's time to get into some specifics, because I was trying to be very vague about Arcane and all of that. I also just realized I should put spoilers in the title, because I don't want people to click on this stream and then realize I'm just actively talking about spoilers. I did a lot of prep for this stream, aka doing my laundry, because I haven't done it in a while. But Give me a second, guys, as I go to change this very, very quickly, and then we can get back on to talking about Arcane and talking about the nitty gritty of what I want to get into. Alright, spoilers, there we go. Now, everybody knows that there are spoilers here. But, okay, I'm going to talk about specifics for Season 2. Obviously, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Season 2, do not watch this. I'm assuming myself in the future will put timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip ahead to other parts, you're very much, you can, and I will put in the timestamps if there are spoilers or not. But since I just watched Season 2, and it's more on the mind than Season 1, let's talk about Season 2 first. Now, I'm going to highlight some of the points that I just talked about, which is the fast pace and how everything felt like it was going very fast. Now, Act 1, okay, this is gonna sound silly. I don't really remember a lot that happened in Act 1. I think it had to do with the Jinx's bomb blowing up the building and then people in Piltover passing away and stuff. But Act 2 specifically, I think was very fast because if you watched Act 2, there's a character named Mel, and I feel like her story in Arcane just wasn't explored as much as I would like, and or it just felt really, really fast. Also, another thing, I feel like there wasn't as much dialogue as Season 1, which isn't an issue. I was just a little thrown off. I need to go back and rewatch Season 2 to pick up more on the actions because there feels like there's less dialogue, so the actions in Arcane are much more important and prominent than the dialogue. But the dialogue is still important, and there's a lot that probably went over my head because I keep seeing Twitter discussions of scenes that I watched and I didn't really fully understand, and then they go through the analysis and I'm like, whoa, that's what that meant? That's what they meant? That's crazy. But I think Mel's story should have been fleshed out a little bit more. It kind of just felt like it just was super random in my opinion, and just not super random. It made sense in the whole story, but it just didn't feel as fleshed out, and I kind of wanted to connect more to Mel as a character, but it happened so quickly that I was like, what? And then what else happened? This is really hard. I should have just rewatched Season 2, because I'm only thinking mainly of Act 3, since that just happened. I think in Act 3 specifically... Okay, actually, I have one thing to say about Act 3. Act 3, Episode 7... This, oh my god. So, Act 3, Episode 7, what happens? Episode 7 isn't even about what's happening in the current timeline. Basically, the character Echo goes to the alternate universe, right? And in the alternate universe, he finds out that everything is just better. Piltover and Zon are connected and everybody is happy and living life, and Zonites aren't being oppressed by Piltover, and they're united as two cities as they should and have always been. And I'm just salty at this episode because everybody is like, this is the best episode, everybody is so happy, and they all deserve this. Which is true. I think that they deserve a good universe. However, I'm salty because Vi is dead in that universe, and I really like Vi. She is my favorite character, and so it's just like I'm just a little salty that everyone's like, oh my god, Episode 7 is so good, and everybody's so happy, and Jinx is finally happy, but her sister's dead. And I'm like, oh my god, why couldn't they just be happy? I know why it happened. and it makes sense. I'm just salty that everybody is saying that it's like the best episode, and I'm like, Vi is just not there, and I'm a little salty that y'all are saying the best episode is when she's not there. And that just makes me a little sad because I just like Vi. But she was very in the season. It makes sense because she had to pass away to basically unite Zaun and Piltover because Hex Tech explosion and whatever. And I did still really like the episode, but I feel like I'm just salty that Vi wasn't there to see that. And then the other thing that came out of this from that episode is the, how do I put this? You realize how much media illiteracy everybody has from that episode. Because, as I said before, basically in that universe, everything is so much better, but Vi passes away. And the reason she passes away is because in the original Hextech explosion, Vi was collateral damage, and she died to the explosion, and that explosion showed people that Hextech is dangerous and shouldn't be developed, so it's not developed and removed. The entire point of the alternate universe is to show that Hextech is dangerous, basically, and that it wasn't made in that universe, right? And so I watched this episode. I'm like, that's really cool. The whole issue is Hextech. I go on Twitter, and let's be real with ourselves. It's Twitter. I think if I went to Reddit or something, those people understood Arcane a lot better than people on Twitter. But the people on Twitter are like, oh my god, Vi is dead in this universe, so you know what that means? She must be the issue. She must be the reason why everything is terrible in the other universe. And I'm like, did we watch the same episode? Where did you get that? Did you forget the whole point is that Heimerdinger literally said that the Hextech doesn't exist in this timeline? Like, the entire point... I wouldn't even say that Hextech is like at fault or anything, because there's a lot of reasons for why the original timeline is just so messed up with the oppression of Zaunite and the privileged Piltover people and no one doing anything to help out Zaunites, whatever, right? But everybody over here is clowning on Vi, saying that it's her fault. And I'm also going to say, if you're a diehard Jinx fan that blames Vi, I'm upset at you. Sorry, no, let me clarify, because Vi is in the wrong in that situation. If you're a diehard Jinx fan that hates Vi, that's when I'm mad at you. Because they're both such good characters, and no one's in the right or wrong in Arcane. Everybody is mostly morally gray. But, back to my rant. Everybody on Twitter is like, oh, it's Vi's fault that everything is terrible. And I'm like, where did you get that? And this is the first time I've jumped into Twitter discussions is to literally just say that it was not Vi's fault, and it was more so on Hextech existing and whatever. And I think people are saying that when in the thing, Heimerdinger says that he's been there for around 3 years in that alternate timeline, so he probably changed stuff to unite Piltover and Zaun, and so that's why everything's are a lot better. Plus, Hextech didn't exist because obviously that was like a big point in the original timeline. But anyway, I think Vi deserves justice because she's a really good character, and everybody seems to kind of misunderstand her and hate on her a lot, especially if you're a Jinx fan, which to an extent I understand, because I'm not going to defend Vi and say that she was a good character and that everything that she did was good, because it wasn't. She made mistakes, and I will say that. She's not a perfect character. No one in this show, besides for Echo, is perfect. Everybody did bad things, and I'm not going to defend any character and say that one character was really good, because all of them did equally bad things, and some, like Jinx, did kind of worse things than other people, or Caitlyn in season 2. And so, anyway, I just don't understand the Vi hate. I think people are just misunderstanding her and not giving her the time of day to think about why she is the way she is. And it makes me mad because I feel like people forget that she was in prison for like, I don't remember, 7 years or something, and it makes me sad. Also, yes, it was bad that in season 1, Vi did punch Powder out of rage, but I feel like if you were Vi in that situation, I would say you would have a similar reaction. I just am trying to say that it kind of makes sense. I will say it was bad of her to do that she shouldn't have done that, but it happens. Also, she didn't abandon her sister. If people keep saying that Vi abandoned her sister, Powder, at the time, I'm going to lose my mind. Because there's literally an entire scene after where Vi tries to go back to, like, get her sister, but then Marcus, that dumb idiot, comes and throws Vi into prison. So, the entire time, Vi clearly wanted to save her sister, but Marcus freaking interfered. So Vi didn't abandon her, and I'm just tired of the Vi slander when it comes to when you assume things, not assume, when you say things that didn't happen canonically. That's when I get mad. When people say Vi abandoned Powder, that's incorrect. She literally did not. Yes, it seemed like when she walked away after punching Powder that she seemed like she was abandoning her, but she was going to go back. And if she abandoned her, this is going to be crazy, she wouldn't have wanted to go back. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyway, I think this show is really complex, and I don't really like people who fully defend their characters, especially diehard Jinx fans that are like, Jinx did nothing wrong, Jinx is just like, well, okay. Sorry, I'll continue. Jinx did nothing wrong, Jinx is just, the words keep falling from my tongue. Jinx is just she's the, what? She's a victim in the society they're in. That's what I'm trying to say. That she's a victim to the circumstances that she's in. Which is true. She is. However, she did do bad things, and you could excuse it by saying that where she is as a person is why she's doing it. But also, she did bad things. Let's be real with ourselves. She did bad things, whether or not she's a victim of her circumstances. Like, she did bad things. Like, Jinx is still a good character, but we gotta admit to ourselves and say that she did bad things. Just like Vi, just like Caitlyn, just like Jason Victor. And I feel like Mel and Echo were fine. Jace kind of just made me a little mad whenever he said that thing to Victor, and he was like, the people from Undercity are dangerous. And then Victor is like, I'm from the Undercity. Like, yeah, screw you, Jace. But I'm just sad about the Vi slander. I don't think a lot of people understand Vi, even though it's kind of really easy to understand Vi, in my opinion. Basically, the way I see Vi is that she's still a child, but she's trying so hard to grow up and be what everybody else needs her to be. Like, she had to grow up really fast to take care of everybody around her. And people are like, oh, she's like immature or whatever. Girl, she got thrown into jail at age like 14 for I don't know how long, because they didn't specify how long she was in jail for, but she has reasons, just like Jinx has reasons to be Jinx. Also, I don't really understand the discussion where they say Jinx and Powder are a different person, because, like, the way I see it, they're just the same person. Because they are. I don't really know what what that discussion is, but I just, it kind of comes up with the episode 7 with Echo going into the alternate universe, and the Jinx in that universe goes by Powder because all of the stuff that made her Jinx didn't happen, so she's Powder. But I think they're still the same character. I mean, I get why people say that they're different, because, like, air quote, everybody made Jinx or, like, whatever, but I don't like that discussion that they're just different people. And anyway, it was nice to see Powder as Powder, instead of as Jinx, I guess. I don't really know. It's hard to discuss that. But anyway, justice for my boy Echo, because he did nothing wrong and he was so unproblematic the entire freaking time. I think Echo was the most unproblematic. I think Mel was mostly unproblematic, besides the fact that she was a part of Piltover and was kind of actively not doing anything to help out with Zaun's situation. So I wouldn't say she's fully in the clear. And the same thing goes with Jace. They're both Piltovers. Bro was originally trying to make Hex Tech to help out with the Undercity, and then it completely changed because I kind of forgot. I'm kind of losing. Oh, it's so small. Kind of losing my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tired today, so I apologize if my thoughts are quite jumbled and I keep jumping from topic to topic. It's very hard for me to think about what I'm saying, basically. But overall, season 2 is really good. I will say, I think I mostly just wanted to discuss all of the, like, hate that I keep seeing. Though it's mostly on Twitter, I feel like people on Reddit are more... Well, I don't want to say anything because I'm not on Reddit, but I've seen some really good takes on Reddit, and then Twitter is Twitter, so it's like, you know what I mean. But basically, my discussion that I would like to bring up is that I feel like, I'm a little bit sad about Caitlyn and Vi, and how much hate they're getting, because I feel like if Caitlyn didn't go through her whole dictator arc, that people would like the Kate Vi better, but because she did go through her dictator arc, that everybody hates that canon couple, and aren't talking about them as much as I would hope they would. Everybody, from what I've seen, even though I'm a diehard Caitlyn and Vi fan, and I like whatever I can on Twitter, I keep seeing more stuff about Echo and Powder and Jason Victor, and I'm like, what happened to Caitlyn and Vi? Because, like, they are literally canon. I mean, Echo and Powder are kind of canon in that alternate universe, but I would still say that they're, like, canon, because I kind of thought that Echo had a crush on Powder when they were kids, and I think that Echo still liked Powder slash Jinx. That even though Powder became Jinx or whatever, that Echo still really liked her, but he kind of just hated who she became, but he still really liked her. Because, I don't know, she's still like her. I don't know. And so, yeah, I'm a little sad about the Caitlyn and Vi hate, and also it's kind of a lot of like the people that hate Vi because they keep saying that she did stupid. They just don't understand her actions, and then they're like, Vi is stupid because she did this, and then I'm just sad because you don't understand Vi clearly to know where she's coming from and why she did that. I will say I wish there was more of a reconciliation between Vi and Caitlyn. I know in the scene leading up to them having Sesbi and Lex, that whole conversation was all they needed to kind of reconcile, but I guess I wish there was a little more dialogue rather kind of. I think what I'm asking for is just a better explanation for people to understand why this happened. Because a lot of Vi and Caitlyn's communication lies in their actions, and I don't think a lot of people pick that up. And just for that reason alone, I feel like there should have been a little more dialogue to explain to people who can't pick up on actions why this is happening. I also was just a little bit confused by their conversation. I will say that I'm not the most media literate that I will understand everything that I watch. There's still stuff that I get confused about. But there are good Twitter threads that will discuss it and explain it, and I'm thankful for that. I should also just go on to Reddit, because I feel like there's also some good explanation there. But yeah, I just am a little sad that people are hating on them, and I get it for good reason. And I just feel like there should have been more in the season to highlight their relationship and reconciliation. And also, I really, really wanted to see them talk about how close they were to meeting each other when they were teens. Because if you remember in episode 1, Vi and her little group broke into Jace's lab, and then it was because of Caitlyn dropping something that Vi knew that people were coming, so they had to leave. And I really wish they talked about that, because I really would love to know the canon interaction between them, to know how Caitlyn would react to knowing that they were really close to meeting and stuff. And I just think it would have been cool, but it was not highlighted, and I'm a little sad. Oh, another thing about season 2 that I wish they did a bit better was Jinx's relationship with Isha, because Isha was just there and then was immediately killed off, and it felt like, for me personally, this might mostly be because I don't particularly like children. I'm not a fan of children. When I look at a child or a baby, I'm never like, oh my god, what a cute child and baby. I just don't care. And so I just didn't get to build an emotional connection with Isha, because it just felt like she was there and then she died, and then that was it. And like, not even in Act 3 did they mention her once. Like, I know that Jinx was grieving Isha because she was just not doing well when you go look at her in the jail cell. But it was just sad that Isha didn't get mentioned even once in Act 3. And she seemed so important in Act 2. And I just feel like they could have slowed that down to let the audience build a deeper connection with Isha, because personally I didn't get connected to Isha with the limited screen time she was there. I truly didn't. I didn't even get that sad about Isha in episode 6. I was literally more upset about Warwick than I was Isha, because I was sad about Vander, because I really like Vander, and I felt bad for my guy because bro is literally passing away for like a third time or something. Oh. Okay, my game just froze. But we're fine now. I was confused for a second. I thought my game was gonna crash. It, however, did not. Thankfully. But yeah, I just didn't get connected to Isha, and it just felt like so random that she was there since she just was not mentioned in Act 3, period. Nor did Savika have, like, any lines in Act 3. I'm, like, trying to remember. I feel like I saw a lot of memes about Savika not saying, like, a word. She might have said, like, 2 lines, and that was it. I think Savika deserved more justice in Act 3. But she didn't, and I'm a little upset about that. It just felt like they set up a lot of plot points in Season 2, and they just did not have enough time to cover all of the plot points. And it was just kind of sad to see all of it rushed in a way to try and wrap up everything at a really pretty bow within, like, 6 episodes or something. And I was just sad. Another point that I see people talking about is how Season 1 kind of set up this whole thing on Zon being oppressed by Piltover, and it being more of like a societal war between these two things, and then out of nowhere in Season 2, not out of nowhere, but in Season 2, we just completely shift from that and then move to the whole, oh my god, Victor is biblical Jesus and is taking over people to create this harmony society where everybody is peaceful and happy, but they're basically soulless robots that Victor can control. And I really liked the highlights of Season 1 and showing the difference between privileged people and the oppressed. And then they kind of just threw that completely away in Season 2, and then they went, oh, everybody needs to unite against the bigger bad thing, which is Victor and Mbessa, and then the Undercity, or Zon and Piltover, united to take back that, even though all of the issues are still there. Like, Piltover is still not doing great towards Zon, and even in, like, the last episode where they reestablished the council and Savika got to be a council member, there are still people that were like, why is this Undercity person here? And it's like, the issues of them still being oppressed and hated are still there, and nothing changed from them uniting together to fight against Victor and Abessa. And I'm just like, I feel like that would have been a much more... I think it just would have been a much more realistic story. I like to compare Arcane a little bit to our real life, and when I say a little bit, I mean a lot, because it really highlights how society is and how we are as people and all of that. And it was really nice that they were showing this off and how realistic it could be, and then Season 2 it just became biblical Jesus trying to take over everybody because he wants to create euphoria or whatever, and then oh, gotta unite and everything. Though I did enjoy Arcane's representation of war and how they highlight how a lot of the background characters in war just passed away and stuff. I keep seeing a lot of people on Twitter being like, I hate that Arcane kept bringing up so many background characters just to kill them off in 2 seconds. And it's like, that's exactly what war is. Like, the entire point is that people are just passing away really fast. So I think it's a really realistic representation of war in media, which is really nice. But I don't know, I think personally I would have liked them to focus a little bit more on the societal problems going on between Piltover and Zon, but this is a personal thing. I think overall the Arcane story is good. I still think it's great. I think if I was getting really nitty-gritty, that is my thing, is that I wish they focused more on societal class issues than they did on Victor becoming Jesus. Though that was also really important. And oh my god, 1,000? Okay, wait, hold on. I have to lock in. Okay, that kind of hurt my hand, but I did it. What'd I get? Oh, just a man of war. Alright. That was really cool. Thanks, game. But, yeah, no, overall, Arcane was still really good. I like the story that they told. I think it was a great story for what they did. I love the animation. I love 4T Studios and all of the justice they did and how much work went into that. I wish if there wasn't budgeting issues that there could have been a season 3 to just, as I said, just flesh out a lot of what I feel like just was super fast in Act 2 and 3. Actually, just all of Season 2, I feel like could have just been slowed down. Besides the war part. The war part makes sense why it was so fast-paced and why it felt, air quote, rushed, is because that's just how war is in real life. So, besides for that, I feel like the other plot point they brought up was just, I feel like they should have fleshed it out. Especially with Mel, because her just randomly gaining Super Saiyan powers was just like, what? What? And this might be rooted mostly in me and how well my media literacy is, and I might just be wanting it to be a little bit longer because I didn't really understand as much as what was going on. Which maybe if once I rewatch Arcane, I would have a different tune about this. But I just think certain things could have been slowed down. Also, I do have one gripe about Caitlyn and Vi, and so I mentioned before that they have Sexby and Lex in the show in episode 8 or something. I don't remember what episode, but I think it's in Act 3. Anyway, they have Sexby and Lex, and that's great and all. That was cool. I kind of expected it. I was hoping that there would be that because I enjoy lesbian representation in media because there should be more queer representation and I feel like a little more stuff like that. And my only gripe with that scene was the fact it was just weird that they did it in the jail cell in which Jinx was just in. I understand it was to probably parallel how Caitlyn and Vi met before, because Caitlyn and Vi met when Vi was still in prison, but it just felt a little odd in that sense to me personally. I think it makes sense because of the parallels and everything. I just felt a little strange by that. Personally, that just felt a little odd that they did that in the cell that Jinx was just in. I think that's my only gripe with it. The rest of it is like fine. I've seen people discuss about how Vi should have just gone after Jinx after Jinx locked her in that cell, but I don't think she should have because Jinx was literally like, let go of me, go be with her, I'll be fine. And then Vi was grappling with the fact that she thought that Jinx would be good, and then she chose wrong again, and then Jinx locked her in the cell. So I think it makes sense why Vi didn't run after Jinx after that, but I just think the timing, not the timing, just it being in Jinx's cell just kind of threw me off. I originally thought it was kind of really fast why it happened, but then I read Twitter threads on Caitlyn and Vi's dialogue to go into more depth of what it meant, and then I was like, oh, now it makes more sense. Because originally, the dialogue did not make sense to me. Granted, I wasn't sober when I was watching Arcane, which might be an issue on some of my criticism of Arcane, is that I don't remember everything quite as well. But I will admit my shortcomings. I'm not afraid to admit when I am wrong, and I think more people should be able to do that, but that's not related to Arcane at all. But originally I didn't really understand that dialogue at first, but after reading a Twitter thread, I slowly understood what Caitlyn meant to Vi. It just didn't fully make sense to me at first. I think that's the nice thing about Arcane, is that the dialogue has a lot of meaning to it. Specific dialogue has a lot of double meaning to it, and it's hard to really understand what they're saying if you don't think about it hard enough. Like, once you just hear the line, it doesn't fully make sense, but you just have to think about it a little bit. But it seems like a lot of people in the Arcane fandom don't think about a lot, clearly, because I've seen a lot of bad takes about Arcane, and it's kind of sad. And I think one of my other things that I'm a little sad about is that people focus more on Jace and Victor and Echo and Powder more than Caitlyn and Vi, because I think they're hated more. Maybe this is rooted a little bit in misogyny too, because they're both women, and obviously homophobia because they're both women and they're lesbians. But I keep seeing this Twitter thread of this person going, is it gayer? Is Caitlyn and Vi, what is it? It's comparing Caitlyn and Vi and Jason Victor and basically asking which one is gayer. Though I know now the original poster, that was like more of a meme and it was kind of a joke, but there are more people that highlight Jason Victor more than Caitlyn and Vi, and I think it's just because it's more ambiguous between them. I have no opinion about Jason Victor. I think what they have can be seen as platonic or romantic or something more, because literally at the end of the show their souls intertwine and they become one and they travel the universes together. So you could even say they have a spiritual relationship. I can't tell you because I have no opinion about them. I don't particularly ship them. I understand why people ship them. I don't particularly ship them, mostly because I have a headcanon that Victor is more arrow ace. I feel like in my head Victor just likes science a lot more, and so I feel like he just wouldn't pursue a relationship. Also, I feel like he kind of has self-esteem or self-confidence issues from the fact that he was born in Dawn, and so he feels like he would never be enough for his partner. But I enjoy that Jace likes to prove to Victor that he is enough, which is really cool. So I have no opinion about Jace and Victor. If you ship them, that's cool. If you don't ship them, that's cool. I think whatever they have is platonic or romantic or something more spiritual. I don't know. Their souls are intertwined. Whatever that means to you, if that's love or not love, or I would say that they love each other. Whether that means it's platonic, romantic, or spiritually, I could not tell you. I just think that they love each other. And that's cool. And so it just makes me sad since they're so ambiguous. I feel like that's why a lot more people focus on Jason Victor and talk about them more, since it's more ambiguous on whether or not they are gay or whatever. Or Jace is bi, I guess, because he did canonically smash Mel. So anyway, and then the Echo and Powder thing, people keep focusing on that a lot, and I think that's due to Jinx being the fan favorite of Arcane, so a lot of people like Powder, and also because it's the what could have been couple, and I feel like a lot of us really enjoy those what could have been couples and stuff. And also, Echo is just a cool character. I gotta say, Echo was dope. I really like him a lot. But yeah, it just makes me sad that the canonical lesbian couple feels like is not. It feels like to me that the canonical lesbian couple is not getting as much attention from most of the fandom, besides for obviously the sapphics and the lesbians, and like other queer people. I know that there are still people that like them, but I feel like a lot of the other part of the fandom don't really talk about them, and I'm a little sad, but it is mostly because they are canon compared to the weird, ambiguous soul intertwining and the what could have been couple. So I understand why people gravitate towards that more, but also I like Caitlyn and Vi. I also just really like lesbians. They're really cool. I really enjoy the love that they share between each other. I don't have a really specific reason why I like lesbians. I just I enjoy a lot more WLW ships more than I like the MLM ships, I would say. Also, I don't know if I would ever make a video about this, but I kind of keep thinking about all the parallels in Arcane and the groups of three in Arcane, and I really want to rewatch Arcane to think about this more. Also, do I just not have bait? Is this why I'm not catching anything? Yeah, it's why I'm not catching. Okay, well, cool. So glad I sat here for probably like a minute and a half, not. Whatever, you know, it's cool. But I like to think a lot about the parallels and how Vi actually there are actually a lot of different parallels in Arcane, which I really like. I feel like the very obvious ones are Vi and Jinx and Jace and Victor, but I also feel like there can be a parallel between Vi and Caitlyn and oh, I forgot the other parallel I was gonna go with. Anyway, I need to think more about that because I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I don't have them written down, which is why I'm not able to clarify or talk about this better because I have a lot of thoughts, but I just never write them down. But I also like the power of the power of three. I keep mentioning three, and oh. This is funny. This was the main reason why I think Arcane should have had 3 seasons because of how much 3 kind of seems to pop up in Arcane. That obviously each season is broken up into 3 acts, and each act has 3 episodes. So I feel like they should have had a season 3 because there's a lot of 3s. And also because Arcane, the whole of Arcane is to kind of show the complexity of human nature and also the power of love and how, because the entire point of Arcane is kind of how love drives us to do really good things or really bad things. But if you look into the number 3 in numerology, and for some religions they say that the number 3 kind of shows wholeness and completeness, and I feel like that kind of ties into the theme of Arcane. There's more to the 3 thing, and also the 3 of the past, present, and future being Heimerdinger's the past, Echo is the present, and Jace is the future. Like, that's kind of what they represent. Because Heimerdinger is always clinging to the past. That's why he didn't want Hextech to be created and developed further, because he was worried about what happened in the past. Echo was focused on the present to make sure that people were able to live with what they had, mostly for the people in the Undercity, because he made that, I forget what they call it, the firelight base. And then Jace was obviously the future, because I think his whole thing was the man of the future, or whatever, where he was wanting to develop Hextech to make things better for everybody in the future, right? And so I really like that, and how they kind of encapsulate that 3 thing. And there's more to it, and I'll probably figure it out, but currently right now I have not figured it out. But that is, I think, mostly what I wanted to cover about Arcane. I mean, there's obviously a lot more, but I'm kind of just losing my train of thought because was just not fully prepared. It's kind of silly. I meant to think about more about what I was going to talk about, and then I had other stuff to do today, so I just did not get to have enough prep time before this stream to really think about and flesh out what I was going to say, but that's fine. I enjoy having a vague script because it's easier to fall back on when I don't know what exactly I'm going to talk about. You know, I can't just go into this willy-nilly. I gotta have a vague idea of what I'm gonna talk about. But overall, to sum up my thoughts of Arcane, I think it was really great, and I think once I rewatch it, I might have a slightly different tune. Another point I wanted to quickly say is that I think I would have liked the ending of Arcane better if things were just a bit more slowed down, and the ending just didn't really hit for me. I still enjoyed the ending. It was still a good ending. I just didn't feel that emotional about it when it ended. Like, it ended and I was like, oh, Arcane's over. Instead, I thought I was kind of going into it being like, I'm going to be an emotional wreck afterwards. And maybe that's just due to expectations and that I thought it was going to be a lot different. I mean, I can't really predict what Arcane was going to do because it's Arcane. But overall, I think Arcane is a really great piece of media, and I truly believe that more media and TV shows and animation should be like this because it's very high quality. And sure, it took like 3 years, but I'd rather have drought in media but have really high quality media rather than oversaturated media and the quality is terrible. Because it feels like, in my opinion, a lot of TV shows and animations nowadays are just not good. Genuinely, I feel like the quality has gone down because most people are trying to do it more for the money rather than trying to tell a good story. And I think Riot and Fortiche Studios shows that with a lot of love and preservation and just time and effort that you can get a very high quality product, and it is just so good. And I feel like all of the characters can just have their own character analysis. Like, you could make a 1 to 2 hour video of a character analysis about each character because they're so complex and so thought through. And that's what I just like about certain shows. I enjoy when there's a lot of complexity to it, though I know it gets lost on a lot of people, but I think this goes back to my I'd rather have more high quality and it take longer to get out. I feel like because we've have oversaturated content as of recently and the quality has gone down, I feel like that's why media literacy is terrible, and also reading literacy is bad because, in my opinion, quality of... I want to say the quality of books have gone down, which isn't quite right. I think people are writing books more for the money. I don't know. It's all related down to capitalism. I know that there are still authors and people that are making media that are putting their whole heart and soul into it, and it's not for the money, and it's for the passion and the love of storytelling, which I can appreciate, and if you are that type of person, good for you. But I think Arcane is a great piece of media in our current time, and I think it was a breath of fresh air and should truly highlight to other studios how taking the time to make a show can truly just make it stand out from the rest. I genuinely am happy that I waited 3 years, or I don't remember how long I waited for season 2 to come out, but I'm glad that I waited because what we got was really good. I'd rather them take their time instead of rushing just to get it out for the people. Oh my god, it's not a different quality. Man, I need this not in glistening quality, man. What do I need again? I literally need radiant. I need radiant for this fish. Do you know how hard it is to get radiant on this fish? Oh my god. Anyway. Wow, I can't believe I talked about Arcane for an hour, but I mean, that was kind of expected. It is funny, I did make other points to talk about, but knowing me, it's very easy to just talk about one subject over and over, because I have a lot to say, obviously, for talking about it for an hour, and I might even have a follow-up stream later to talk about this even more once I have more thoughts altogether. But overall, Arcane's a great piece of media, and I think it should be studied later, and I hope that people will rewatch it and gain a better appreciation and understanding of characters in Arcane, because they are so complex and nuanced that I wouldn't even say there are good characters besides for Echo, because everybody else has done good and bad things. Again, I don't understand why people defend their characters so much, because everything is so nuanced in Arcane and everybody has a different intention and motivation for what they're doing and why they're doing it, and that's really important to the characters. But since they're so complex, it's easier to just boil them down into a single entity, but that's just not what Arcane is. Arcane is not that, and it has a lot going on. And obviously, it's just complex. And as I said again, maybe once I rewatch Arcane, I will have a better appreciation for all of the criticism I gave to Arcane from my current understanding of it right now. Because opinions change. So, that's my Arcane rant. And I think that will be the end of the broadcast, honestly, because that's all I had, and also it's been an hour, so I'll take it. But before we actually end the broadcast, let me go do our normal gambling. We buy 5 scratch-offs, and then we do the gambling. I really hope the developer will add a sorting system to this and or an ability to get rid of stuff in the inventory. Actually, there might be a way to get rid of stuff in the inventory. I just have so much in here. But that's my own fault. So, let's do some scratch-offs and try to win some big money. Big money. Alright. 23, 33, 28, 9, and 18. Let's see. Big number. Bigger number, better person. That's what Ludwig always says. I think. Something like that. Darn it. Alright. 42, 21, 29, 24, and 19. I got close with 45. Not it. Got close with 20. Man. Getting unlucky. Alright, third one. 46, 26, 38, 33, and 3. Let's see. Will I win big this time? It is the third one, and you know what they say. Third time's the charm. So, let's see if that holds up. And last row. Ooh, awkward. I feel like the other times I've done a scratch-off, I've won at least once, but I'm not sure. Alright, fourth one, 17, 1, 26, 31, and 42. Alright, come on. Let's at least win one scratch-off. I would like to win one. I need that dopamine rush to wake me up, man. One! Oh my god, I won $5,000. Wait, this is the most I've ever won on a scratch-off. I've won $5,000. I think the most I've won is like 500. Oh my god, I made my money back from this specific scratch-off. Nice! Yeah! Yippee yay! Wow, thanks game. And for the fifth and final one, 0, 6, 33, 32, 28. Let's go. Let's see this. Anything good? Anything good here? $100. So total today, we won $5,100. And I think that's a win in my book since I made my money back on this specific broadcast with the gambling. So I will take that. I am not even mad about it. So with that all done, let us wrap up the broadcast. I will be live this Thursday as well, same time, normal thing. I would give a heads up on topics I would talk about, but I have not fully planned that. But it will not be Arcane related and will be more general stuff like the past broadcast, so do not worry, it will not be another Arcane related thing. But with that, this broadcast is over, but I appreciate y'all who tuned in and everything. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this broadcast, and I hope to see you guys, or not hope, I hope I'll catch you guys on Thursday. There we go. Yep, I got it. Please don't unsubscribe. Please don't unsubscribe. Listen, I have to do it. This is like a fish-related thing. I have to. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Thursday at 7 p.m. Bye, guys.